Today, I want to introduce you to someone very special. You might already know who I'm talking about. Someone who's currently going a little bit crazy here on my lap. This is Finn. If you follow me on Substack, you've already met him via photos and like cute little memes that I make of him. But I wanted to formally introduce you guys to him here on YouTube as well. Tell you a little bit about him and how amazing and awesome he is. And yeah, just introduce you guys formally because I've had him for almost 2 years now. Wow. Yeah, that is right. Almost 2 years. That's insane. But he hasn't been in any videos yet. So here he is. This is Finn. He is a little 7-pound Chihuahua, and I got him in early 2023, actually. He is the third Chihuahua that I've had. If you're new around here, then you don't know this. If you aren't new around here, you definitely know this. I'm obsessed with Chihuahuas. They are my favorite type of dog. I will be rescuing them for the rest of my life. I really feel like it's a big part of my life purpose, and it's a big part of what I do running my business too, to be able to take care of these little guys and love on them, to donate to Chihuahua rescues, and just do whatever I can to make a difference in the lives of these little sweet little puppies. So I actually got Finn after a very, very difficult time in my life, which I've talked about elsewhere on my channel. I'll link the video up above. But yeah, my other Chihuahua that I had, his name was Tito. You guys may have seen him here on the channel in the past if you've been around for a while. He was my soul dog. He was that one great dog love that just nothing else can compare to. And he unfortunately passed away in January of 2023, and it was excruciating. Like, if you've been through this kind of pet loss or any kind of grief like this, please know that you're not alone. Like, I went through something really awful after that. I was in a very dark place, and it was so incredibly difficult, and every day just felt like excruciating for a little while because he meant so much to me. Tito was really special. He was my first real experience in life of like a deep and true unconditional love, and he was just the chillest, most special and amazing little guy ever. Like, he just had the best personality, and he got me through so many difficult situations in my life where I had no one else. So many times where I had no one and nothing. I was sleeping on people's couches with just like a bag of clothes, and that was all I owned. Like, we went through some tough times together. So losing him was really, really hard. And to be honest with you, I didn't see myself getting another dog, earlier than like 6 months to a year after him passing away. However, the universe had other plans, and I really believe that, our dogs who pass on, they send us the next little pup to take care of. They send us what we need and the dog that will help us get through that, whatever that may be. I think it's different for every specific person. So randomly, I came across little Finn here online. He was at a animal shelter in Dallas, Texas, where I used to live at the time. And yeah, he didn't have a name. He looked like a mess. I mean, he was emaciated. His ears had like little lumps and bumps all over him. He just looked like he was in really rough shape. And I just remember getting this gut feeling, because I'd seen other dogs online and stuff, after Tito had passed away. But I just had this gut feeling with Finn, like he was the right one for me. Like, he was the dog that I was supposed to get for that point in time and for this specific time period of my life. He was going to be the right dog for me. So I went down to that animal shelter, and they brought him into the little meet and greet room, and he was like a little baby giraffe who just learned how to use their legs, because I don't know if you can see, but he actually has kind of freakishly long legs for his size. He was just so little. I think he was probably between like 5 and 6 months old. Really, really small, really, really young, but he was just so cute, just walking around, like exploring the room. I could tell he had a really sweet temperament. Like, he wasn't barking or growling at me when I went in toward his cage to like look at him and kind of get a feel for his vibe and what he was like. So yeah, I decided then that I wanted to bring him home and that he was going to be the newest addition to our family. And there were like a lot of emotions involved with that because I had to keep reminding myself that getting Finn was not to replace Tito. He could never fill that, no dog could ever fill that space that Tito filled because he was my soul dog. He was so very special. But what Finn ended up doing was helping me get through that grief and process it. And because he doesn't really look like Tito, but they, they're a similar size and not too different coloring and the same breed and stuff, I get to be reminded via Finn of all the little mannerisms, not all of them, but some of the mannerisms that Tito would do on a day-to-day basis. So I found that getting Finn has really helped me keep that connection to Tito alive and kind of give me those little moments where I see Finn do something and I'm like, oh, I remember when Tito used to do that. So it's actually been a really sweet thing, but I will definitely not sugarcoat it. I will admit that the first several months, especially the first 6 months of having Finn around, was really hard because, it was impossible for me to not compare him to Tito. And how can you compare a puppy that you've had for a few months to your soul dog that you have for 12 years? You can't. Like, nobody can live up to that, right? And I know a lot of people are like, don't compare your new dog to your old dog, but like, I'm human. I don't think it's actually humanly possible unless you're some monk or someone who is like really just on a higher plane spiritually to completely never ever compare, because that feeling I think is just always going to be there in some way. And it took me time to process that. And it was hard to take care of Finn while also being in such a deep, dark place because of my grief. I mean, the first year after losing Tito was awful. I cried every day for like the first 3 or 4 months after we lost him, and regularly, like once or twice a week after that. I just now, and it's been almost exactly 2 years since he passed away, I just now am at the point where I'm not crying like, every other day or multiple times a week usually. It's usually more like a few times a month because grief stays with you. It doesn't go anywhere, right? But anyway, I think Finn was like a really good almost distraction so that I didn't get too lost in my grief during that time. When we brought him home, I couldn't really tell this at the shelter, but this is how things ended up being. He was practically feral. Like, have you ever seen those videos where someone brings has a wild squirrel run into their house or something? That was this guy right here. Like, literally, I could tell he'd never had a bed before. He'd never had toys. He was so scrawny. He didn't look like he had ever been, like, really fed well. I could tell he had been on the streets for a while. And it was clear to me that he was pretty much feral because he just had no sense of what it was like to live in a home. Like, I'm pretty certain that that wasn't his reality before I brought him home. You can see even still, he's a very energetic little guy. I'll post the video link above of Tito and Violet when I introduced them here on the channel, which, oh my gosh, was so long ago. Who is that girl in that video? I don't even know her anymore. But yeah, if you want to hear their stories, you can check that out. Finn is a lot wilder than either one of them ever were, but the thing that I love about him so much is that he is so loving and so sweet. Like, he is all about getting love and affection and attention. He likes to be kissed, hugged. He likes to cuddle. Oh my gosh, like, he is obsessed with it. And he is incredibly smart, incredibly smart. It took a lot of patience to train him. Now he knows like 10 tricks, both with hand motions as well as verbal cues. And he's just incredibly freakishly smart. So that definitely helped with the process of getting him from basically feral to being like someone who could exist in our home in a somewhat non-chaotic way. I'm actually going to let him down because I think he's not enjoying being up here too much, but maybe I'll go get him a little bit later in the video. But yeah, I had to work on training him right away when I brought him home because he was just feral. He was like a feral animal in our house. But again, the best thing about him is that he has always been very sweet. When I say feral, I don't mean feral aggressive. I just mean like he was so keyed up all the time. I could tell he was just a ball of anxiety, but he was incredibly loving. Like the first night he was at home with us, he slept right here on my shoulder, and that has been his thing ever since. Every night he cuddles with me and he lays right here on my shoulder, and we just lay down like that and fall asleep next to each other, and it's really, really sweet. So after working with him for a handful of months, he was doing so much better. He had learned what a toy was. He learned kind of like our routines, and I put him on like a routine and a process for like, here's when you eat. I set up his crate for him, which for him I think was really important. From what I've seen, all dogs are kind of a little bit different in what they need. Like with Tito, he was very, very fearful and would cower and like hide under my bed when I got him. So he needed more patience in that way, like coaxing him out, making him feel safe and comfortable. Whereas Finn, who was just wild and chaotic, really needed structure and routine and learning, to do training for different tricks and stuff, something to focus his mind on. And he needed that safe space of his crate that was just like a really cozy little area for him. And he still goes in there all the time on his own. I'm like, why are you in there? You don't have to be in there. But he just likes it. And yeah, I think every dog needs something different. It definitely requires patience, but with all the dogs I've adopted, it has been so, so worth it. And I just have like an endless well of patience for these little Chihuahuas because they are such incredible little animals. I think that Chihuahuas can get a bad rap. They have all these like negative assumptions people make about them. But the truth is they're amazing dogs. Finn also goes on hikes with me, which sometimes I do get kind of weird looks with that. Like people look at me like, really, you're walking a 7-pound Chihuahua up this mountain right now? But he absolutely loves it. I think because of my theory of him pretty much being outside his entire childhood or puppyhood or whatever, he's just so in his element. And now that we have moved up here to the beautiful Pacific Northwest in Oregon, he is my hiking buddy. Like, he fucking loves it. He is obsessed with it. Anytime I tell him, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to go for a hike? He just starts freaking out because that is his favorite thing to do. So if you've ever thought about adopting a Chihuahua, please don't feel like they are just these nasty little ankle biters and they're mean and they can't ever go anywhere with you. They are so sweet. They are so loving. They will latch onto you and give you a love that you did not know existed. I always say you don't know what true love is until you've been in a codependent parent-child relationship with a Chihuahua. And I will stand by that forever and ever. So yeah, that's a little bit about my little Finn here. By the way, his full name is Phineas, Finneas, which I think is really cute and a unique little name. I don't know where I came up with that. I think I was just thinking about names and it just randomly came to me. We were watching a lot of Adventure Time at the time, so, Finn the human from there is kind of cool because Finn's personality is kind of like that. He's like a very chaotic, good type of energy that he brings into our home, which has been very interesting because my husband and myself and our other dog are all very chill, laid back, we're introverted, we're quiet. This little guy is not. He brings sort of a joyful chaos into our home and just keeps us laughing. He is so goofy and funny. I'll post some goofy pictures of him here over me in the video. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce you guys to Finn here. Let's see if I can get him to be still for 0.2 seconds. There we go. But yeah, it has just been so much fun getting to watch his growth trajectory from being this crazy fair little guy to being someone who really listens, is so freaking incredibly smart, loves to go hiking with me everywhere, is so sweet and loving and cuddly. He's just an amazing little dog, and it only validates even more that this is one of the things I'm meant to do in my life is rescue Chihuahuas and just love on them and make that a part of my life's purpose. It's something I am so passionate about. So what I would recommend for you, if you have been thinking about adopting a Chihuahua, I would so highly recommend it. They are amazing dogs. They will love you. They will be so attached to you. They're fairly low maintenance, but yet they can go anywhere with you. It's just a really cool experience and they are great dogs. Anyway, I would love to hear about your experience. Do you have a Chihuahua? And if so, please share a picture, an Instagram post, whatever below, because I will stalk your Chihuahua pics. I love nothing more than to see pictures and videos of Chihuahuas. Literally, my entire Instagram algorithm almost is Chihuahuas. So it's kind of my thing and I would love to see it. Or if you've had an experience too where you adopted another dog after losing your soul dog, I would love to hear about how that went for you, what your new dog helped you with, because I know Finn helped me so much, not only with giving me kind of a distraction from my grief, so I didn't just get completely lost in it, because he needed so much like training and care, but also just giving me that additional source of a really deep love and just cuddling with me and being my little Velcro dog. Yes, he's that kind of dog who follows me everywhere, whether it's the bathroom, the kitchen, the backyard, wherever. If I am there, he is there. And if someone else is holding him, his eyes are on me the entire time. So it's just a really, really special way to be loved, and they are such special dogs. I hope you enjoyed meeting little Finn today. Maybe he'll make some more cameos here on the channel, but I would love to hear about your dogs or your cats or whatever animal has meant so much to you in your lifetime. Or if you lost a soulmate pet like I did, tell me about them. I would love to hear about them, truly, because it is so important to keep them alive by speaking about them. I talk about Tito all the time, and I will for the rest of my life. I love telling people about him. I love being asked about him. It just helps me keep his spirit here and keep him alive and keep him a big, big part of my life, because he always will be. And now Finn always will be too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I cannot even tell you how much I appreciate you being a part of this kind and friendly and supportive community. Thank you so much for that. And I will see you in the next video.